Welcome to javaisawesome, and in this video we are going to talk about what is the input output stream. So it means like we have already discussed about what is the file reading, what is the file writing, how we are talking with the files, and how we are storing our data inside the files, and how we are reading those data in our Java program. So this is the basically we have as of now done the operations on the particular string data type. Okay, as of now we have not learned like how to store object inside the file and how to read it. Okay, so there is so many things we have and we have to understand. Okay, but before going to do each and everything, we have to understand like exactly what is the input and output stream. Okay, so let's start. So in Java, input stream is a sequence of the characters. Let me open my ledger. Okay, sequence of the character. So in Java, input stream is a sequence of data that is read from the source and such as a file, network, connections, or any input device. So basically data we are reading from the different system. Maybe we are reading from the file, or maybe we are reading from the some of the particular other system. Yeah, maybe some other deployment website also we are reading the some of the data. So there is so many things we have to read the data. So input output stream is basically in the Java ground level, it's not that much useful, but if you go to the microservice architectures and some of the high level concept, then that time it's a very important, because we are storing the data in some of the place and we are reading those data. We are not storing all those data in the website. If you like store all those data in the website, then definitely your website gets slow. So in you have to keep in mind like what is the basically use of the input output stream and what we can do with that. Okay, so an output stream is a sequence of the data that is written to the destination. So input means like taking the data. Okay, input stream means taking the data from the files. Okay, that is the input we are getting from our website. No, input we are getting from other website, other files in our application, that is called input stream. And output stream means we are from our application we are writing some other places some of the data, that is called output stream. Okay, and in the same thing like file network connections or some of the output device, the Java input output system provides a set of the classes. Set of the classes means for writing with the input and output stream. Okay, so in that there is so many classes we have, we can do the perform the operations on that, and we can utilize those method. The input stream and output stream classes are the abstract base classes. So it means that you can't create an object for that and we can't do the operations with that, but there is so many implemented classes having for the input stream and output stream. We can use those classes and we can do all those input and output stream in Java. They define the Java basic method that all input and output stream must implement, such as reading and writing the bytes data. So that is really very nice concept, input output stream. Okay, let's go and you can see the input output stream is a abstract class. So let me explain and show you like really it's a input output stream. So you can go to the Eclipse, and what you have to do is you have to do Control Shift T, not R. Okay, T, and you have to search input stream. Okay, input stream. So you can see here input stream. If you search output stream, you can see output stream also, but let me open the input stream. It's available in java.io package. Okay, and here if you see, this is the abstract class. Okay, if you see the implementation of this abstract class, okay, so you have to do the control and alt and open implementations. So if you click on the open implementation, so implementation of this input stream class is so many classes. Okay, so many classes. Whatever the classes you are able to see, those classes have implemented our input stream. Okay, if you see this thing. Okay, but let's talk about some of the classes. Okay, so that you can understood in proper way. So this is the input stream, and input stream parent is object. And if you go down, you have seen like file input stream, file input stream, file output stream, input stream. Okay, if you go and see, okay, down some of the implemented classes you can see. Okay, so those are the implemented classes, and those only classes is very important, which is file input stream and file output stream. We can see later, okay, about it also. So these are the something important things I have to definitely introduce all those things. Okay, so I have just awareness it. So output stream, so if I go and search why it's working like that, output stream, so this is also available in the stream package only, and this is also a abstract class. This is implementing the clonable, flushables, this type of the, but if you see this class implementation, you can click control and mouse over on it, you can see the open implementation. In the open implementation you can see all those implemented classes. Okay, so inside this also having some of the classes like if I close this one, you can see file output stream. So that is some important classes we have, and we can do the operations with that, and we can check it each and everything. Okay, how is it working? Okay, so this is the some basic things, and whatever we have learned in the PDF, those things only. Okay, and the input stream and output stream classes are the abstract class we have just seen. The define the basic method that all input streams classes are the available. Okay, now if you see file output stream, you can see, yeah, you can see the file input stream, both are same. No, there is no confusion on that, and this is work like a file writer. So file output stream means right from our application. This is something opposite, you can see, like it's saying output. It means you are thinking like we are giving some data, but not. Output means we are taking some data. Okay, output stream. Okay, classes method. So if you see here, you can see there is so many method, write method. Okay, file output stream, you are generating some data and generating some of the places. Okay, that is called file output stream. So that is, we have like a file writer classes methods. Okay, there is so many methods, you can go with each and every method, but we can discuss only close, write, and some of the method called whatever the write having a override methods, we can check it out. If we have a finalize method also, so finalize methods we do not use it. Get channel, get FD. So there is so many methods, but only useful is like write and close the connection. Those are the main important things. Okay, you can do work with the file output stream also, you can do work with the file writer, but whatever though we are doing work with that one. Okay, this data will not store the object. If it is store the object, it will only store the string value, it will not store the object. Okay, now if I talk about file output stream, let me take one example, and you can from your side you can convert like in input stream, so it's fine for me also. Okay, so let me discuss like file output stream. Let's talk about the file output stream and how we can really implement it. Okay, so let's go to the Eclipse. Okay, here I'm going to create one new project which is file handling. Okay, give the new project Java project file handling. Test, anything you can give, noise, and it will create one project for you, no issue in that. So this is the file handling test we have created. Inside this one more node module you can see the package, so let's classes, you can remove it. Okay, and now I'm going to create one more class here, okay, which is able to test the file output stream. So I'm going to give the name called file output stream or test, and also what I can do is I can write here com.file. Okay, let me create the package and class also. Inside this I'm going to write main methods. Okay, so like you have already know about like how we are doing the file writers and file readers. Same thing you can do work with the file output stream or file input stream. So you can write file input stream is equal to new, you can write file input stream for the reading data, but I want to write data, so I will go with the file output stream. Okay, and then after here I will write new file output stream. Okay, and file input it's giving me, so but I don't want file input, I want file output stream test. And here we can do two things, we can pass the file or you can directly pass the file name also. So if you want to pass the file, you can create one new file, and here you can give the file name. So for example, if you want to give test data, So you can give the extension called dat, or you can give the extension called txt. So let me give the date, and here you can give the semicolons, and this will throw an exception. Okay, change type to s2 file output stream. Yeah, so this is the file output stream, and this is the throwing the exceptions. So let it be throw. And if you check this method inside this file output stream, so there is only method called write method. And if you see, the write method is overloaded method. It's a 3 method. Write is available. One is it's taking the byte of array, it's taking the integer, and it's taking the byte array with some of the of or length. Okay, so let's go with that one, and let's give the value called 65, which is ASCII value of a, capital A. So it will also throw the exception, so you can declare the exception, so it will handle it. Let me close it. So s dot close, same thing, there is no differences in that. So same thing we are doing. So if you want to write something like some data called integer value, then we can go with the file output stream. That is very nice. Okay, and let me run, so that you can see it will create one file for you, and it will store the data inside this also. Okay, so this is the file is executed. You can if you have not printed any message, so that it's not showing it, let me refresh it once, then you can see the output. So it's created the one file called testdata.dat, and inside this you can see A. So A is already available inside this. So this is the some basic things we have understand. But my understanding is like, I don't want to store the integer or a string. I want to store the object. Object means I have created one class called student, and I have created 4 or 5 objects, and I want to store those objects inside the what? Those file, and then we can read whenever it's required. Okay, so those things I have to do. How can I do it? So for that you have to take the help of the file output stream and file input stream. That is fine, but along with that you have to take the help of the object output stream. Object means we are going to write a object, not particular string or integer value or byte value. So that time you have to take the support of the object output stream. So object output stream is also like you can check like it's a subclasses of the input output stream or not. So we can go to the Eclipse, and we can simply search object, control T we have to do. So control shift T, and I will write object. Okay, object input stream. Object input stream. So if you see, this is a class called object input. This is also available in java.io, and object input stream class we have. So if you go with that one, you can see object input stream is a subclass of the input stream, object input, object stream constant. So those are the he already extended. Okay, so it's also a part of the input stream. Okay, and apart from this we can discuss so many things. Okay, this is the input stream. If you go to the slide, you can see like how it will work. So basically what we are doing is, if you want to write some object of the data into the file, first you have to create a class, and what is the class you have created, you have to implement those class with the serializable interface. Okay, so once you implement the serializable, then those particular object is capable to send the data onto the server, network, and other device. Without serialization we can't send it. Okay, because actual object we can't send, so we have to do the serialization. So serialization is a process to convert our particular object data, Java object data, into the bytecode. So in the bytecode we can easily transfer our data into the one system to another system, and our system to the some network or some of the files. Okay, so those things we have to understand first, what is serializable, and then once we understand what is the serializable, then we can start like open or create a new file using the file output stream. So through that we can create a file, and we have already discussed in the file output stream we have created the file, but file output stream does not have a method called write a object. So we can again create a object output stream, and through the object output stream giving the above as a parameters of the file output stream as a argument to the constructors, and this is the combinedly both use to create object output stream having a one method called write object, and with the help of this method we can write our object into the particular file. So method to write the object into a particular file. So this is the things we have to follow. But before going to do these things, we have to understand like how exactly we are writing a data. What is the serializables? All those things we have to understand. Then we can go forward. Understand the serializations and what is the serialization basically. So and also we can discuss like what is the deserialization in Java, and really it's a very important topics in Java. Okay, so you don't want to miss it. Okay, in the so many interview room also they will directly ask you like what is the serialization and what is the deserialization and what is the benefit from it. Okay, so you have to know about it because it's a very important concept. Okay, so if I talk about the serialization in Java, so it's a mechanism of writing the state of object. For example, we have an object and those state of the object is a Java object, and we have to convert those object inside the byte stream. So that means we are saying like we have to convert from one state to another state, that is called some other format to byte stream format, that is called a serializations we can say, and it is mainly used in the Hibernate, RMI, JPA, EJB and JMS technology. And basically those technology we are using to store our data into the database. Okay, and it's a very important technology, and in that technology internally we are using the serializations only. Even you want to write data into the files, if you want to write data into the some server or maybe some database, definitely you have to take the help of the Hibernate, JPA, JDBC template, then only we can do it. So those technology internally using the serialization concept, then only we are writing our object of the data into the byte stream into the particular any of the database. Okay, got it. The reverse operations of the serialization is called a deserialization. Means whatever we are doing for the serialization, if you do the reverse process, that is called deserialization. Okay, where byte stream is converted into the actual object. So whenever you are trying to store some data into the any of the like database or maybe the file, then object first will convert it into the byte stream, that is called serialization, and from byte stream to convert in the actual form of the object, that is called deserialization. The serializations and deserialization process is a platform independent. It means you can serialize an object on one platforms and deserialize it on different platform. So if you know the Java features, definitely you can understand what is the platform independent. Okay, so basically it's we have like a Java, you can run one place and you can run multiple like you can create or compile in one place and you can run into multiple places. That is possible in Java. In the same thing, serialization also do the work. So you can do the serialization, you can do this deserialization very easily into the any platform. Okay, for serializing the object, we call the write object method of the class called object output stream class, and for the deserializations we call the read object method of object input stream class, which is object input stream class. We must have to implement the serializable interface for serializing the object. We must have to implement the serializable interface for serializing an object. So the whole things is only whenever we are doing work with the file, storing a data into the file in the database, make sure whatever the classes object we are going to write, those class or object will be implemented serializable interface, then only you can able to write those data. Otherwise it will not convert in the byte stream and we can't write it. Understood? Understood. So this is called as serialization and deserialization. It's a very important. Interviewer will ask you definitely. So please remember the definition, what is the process of serialization and what is the process of deserialization. Okay, this is the some figure you can see how to serialize, store and deserialize, restore back into the object. In the simple word you can see. So for example, this is the object you have in your Java code, and we have to convert with the help of the serializations into the byte stream, and then only you can those byte stream you can write into the file or database or any microchip or memory. If you want to deserialize those data, again you have to take the help of the some other classes, which is the object input stream, and you have to convert this byte stream into the object. So here converting an object into the byte stream, that is called serialization, and here converting a byte stream into the object, that is called deserialization. In the simple word you can say. Okay, understood? If you see like what is the serializable, so in java.io.serializable interface is available, and serializable is nothing but it's an interface. So serializable is a marker interface. So what is marker interface? Marker interface is also very important concept in Java. Like maybe the interviewer will ask you, hey, do you know about marker interface? Then you have to tell, yes, I know about it. Serializable is a marker interface, you can say. But maybe they will ask like, what is the advantage? What is the benefit with the marker interface we have? So first understand what is the marker interface. So serializable is one of the marker interface, and the marker interface means the interface has no data members and method. That means the particular interface is empty, nothing inside this. That is called a marker interface. Let me show you so that you can understand what is the marker interface. So let me open the serializable interface. Okay, so I have to open with the control shift T LISCRI serializable. You can see here interface. So if you open the serializable interface, you can see all those definition. It's available in java.io package. But if you go and see the body of this interface, there is nothing. You can see nothing. You are not able to see here anything. Just public interface, serializables and body clause. So if any interface does not have anything, does not have any body, there is no data inside this, no method, no members, no anything, that is called a marker interface. That is called a marker interface. Simply you can remember it. So serializable is nothing but it's a marker interface. Okay, it's a marker interface. Okay, let's go to our slide and talk about some more about it. So this is the marker interface, has no data members and method. It is used to mark Java class so that the object of this class may get a contain capability. So if there is nobody, if there is nothing inside the serializable interface, what it will do? What exactly it will do? That is the very important questions. And each and every interviewer will ask you, hey, if there is nobody, there is nothing, what it will do? What is the use of it? Can we remember? So that time maybe so many people are confused, but you don't want to confuse it. You have to say like, it is used to mark Java classes. It is used to mark, just marking for the Java classes, so that the object of this class may get a certain capability. Certain capability means with the help of the serializable we have decided, hey, if some of the class is marked with the serializables, we have to give this capability. So this is the marking, you can say. And the clonables and remote are also a marker interface. So in Java there is so many interface are the marker interface. Let me open one more time. So serializable is a marker interface. Let me open the clonable. So how can I open clonable? So control shift T CLONABLE. It's available in java.lang package, and this is also a marker interface. We have one more marker interface, that is called remote. So this is not available here. Let me write control shift not R. I don't want to open the resources. I have to open the T, which is open type, and then I have to write remote. And remote is also a marker interface. So if you see, there is no body for it. Okay, I hope guys you clears like what is the marker interface, what is the serializable, what is the remote, what is the clonables. But we have to need to understand what is the purpose of marker interface and what exactly they are doing. So that these are the like only for the marking we are doing. So if somebody class is marked with the serializables or clonables or remote, so we are giving some extra capability or certain capability for those classes. It's internally handled by the metadata, nothing else. Okay, that's it only we have to say. The serializable interface must be implemented by the classes whose object need to be persistent. So persistent means like whatever the object you want to transfer from the network file, you have to make those object as a serializables. The string class and all other wrapper classes. This is the also very important point you have to remember. the string class and all other wrapper classes. What is the wrapper classes? Wrapper classes means integer, capital INTGER, capital boolean, capital float, capital double, capital. Start with the capitals. I'm not saying the keyword we are using and we are creating a variables, not those. We are talking about the classes, wrapper classes. So wrapper classes means whatever the integer, boolean, float, those classes are available, which we talk about in the collection. Okay, those wrapper classes implement the java.io.serializable interface. By default, we don't want to serialize it, but if you create your own class, for example, previously we are doing work with a string and some of the wrapper classes, like some of the integers value we have done the work. So those easily we are able to write into the files. But if you create your own class, for example, student, person, and you are trying to store those data and send those data into the some of the network device, then definitely it will give the error and it will say, please make your object as a serializable, then only you can send your data to the other device, other file, other network. Okay, that is the things you have to understand. Okay, let us do one thing. Try to implement this code, like write how to write a object into the file. Okay, so let it be, and let's start with that one, and we can do all those operations. So let me close each and everything. Okay, and let me delete this one also. Okay, and inside this file handling only, I want to create one more file called student. What I have to create? A student. So I am creating one student class, and this student class I have to implement first serializable. So because of the interface, we have to write serializables. So I have made it serializables. Only this line of the code you have to write to make a serializables, nothing more than that. Okay, apart from this, everything will be handled. And for the student, I have to write some of the data. So private int id, yeah, yes id you can write. Okay, you can write private string name, private int or maybe you can take the some of the phone number. So string only number. Okay, this is the 3 data only I'm taking, and for that I'm going to create a constructor, setter, getter, all those things. So right click on that and go to the source and generate a getter, setter methods. Select all for all those parameters we have to generate. So setter, getter is generated. Let it be generated on twisting methods. So I'm going to the source, and from the source we can generate a twisting also. Generated it. Let me go to the constructor first. So here we can generate a constructor. So quick source and generate the constructor using a field. Generate it. So one constructor is generated here. You can see one more constructor which is parameterized I have to generate. So go to the source with the super classes. We can generate easily. Okay. So all those things will be generated, and like we have created the student class it. And let me write one class called student object output stream test. Okay, and we have already made it serializables. Okay, and we have created one class called test here. Okay, let me write one main method. Inside the main method I have to create first file. So file output stream. So we have to take the help of the file output stream. Okay, and file output stream equal to new file output stream, and here you can give the file name. So I'm going to give the file name called data.date. This is the file extension I have given. Okay, and with the help of that what we can do is we can write inside the try and catch also, and otherwise, okay, let me go with the try and catch. So I have written those lines inside the try and catch. Okay, so we have created the file. So file will be created through that, and now we have to write those files into the, I have to store the object, our object. So first let me create our object. So once our object will be ready, then we can store those object into the file. So create a student object. So a student s equal to new student. So this is the one object I have created. Okay, let me pass here data. So I will give 101 comma, give my name only, and then after here you can give the numbers, which is something like that. Okay, so this is the number I have given. If you want to create multiple student, we can take it. So Control Alt arrow down, and for example I have created 3 students. So let me give the name called S1, S2, S2 and S3, and this is S4. So 4 object I have created, and let me remove this one. Control D. Okay, and this one 2 I will give, this one 3 I will give, and this is Deepak, and this is something called Ajit, and number should be something. So this is the numbers we have given. And once we create the object, create a file. So while creating a file, we have to take the help of the file output stream, create file. So file will be created. Now what we have to do is, the next step what we have to do. Okay, so in the next step what we have to do is create object output stream. Okay, so we can create object output stream. So I will write object, I will write output stream, and here I will write object output stream equal to new object output stream, and object output stream, and inside this you can pass the output stream. So output stream is a like parent of the file output stream, so we can pass those. Okay, so parent will able to take those reference. So we are passing, but it will throw one exception. What is the exception? So we have to throw the declarations or catch calls surrounded with the try, and add exception existing catch counts. So I have add the add existing catch counts. So you have see here. So previously we are getting some other exceptions. Okay, let me write here so that you can understood in better way. Okay, let me remove these things. Okay, fine. So now you are able to see each and everything. Okay, and here if I remove it, okay, file input output, so let me give those things only. Input output exception you can give, and you can pass your object here, so it's handled right now. Okay, now what you have to do is you have to write, you have already file created data.dat, and with the help of this object stream we have passed those things, file output stream object here, and now this object output stream is capable to write the object inside the file. So what we can do, OOS dot write object method we have. What method we have? Write object. So if you go down, you can see write char, write byte, write booleans, write long, and write object we have. So we have to write the object. So we can take S1. So S1 data will be written. Once it is written, I will close it. So OOS dot close. And once it is closed, I will have to close the FOS also. So then after I will close FOS, not close. So both streams are closed. Okay, we need to close this basically. Otherwise, if it is open, it will consume lots of the times. And let me run once, then you can see like these are able to write data into the file, but encrypted format. So we are not able to see any output here. So what we can do is we can print one. Okay, like file data store. Okay, let me run once. So now it's printing file data store. If you go to the particular file and if you refresh this project, you can get those file data.date. We have given exception, and inside this you can see like we have written the student data, but it is unreadable format. You can see here. Okay, so you can't read properly. Okay, why? Because it's provide the security also. Okay, so but data is stored, it will provide the security on that. Okay guys, if you want to write some more data or maybe the some more object on that, so what we can do is you can write oos dot write object, and you can pass here s2. So you can store the s2 also. If you want to pass s3, you can pass here s3 also, and through that we can store the data. Okay, let me run once again. So it's inserted. Now if you go here and if you see, it's inserted some more data, which is Prince, Deepak also, Ajit also. Okay, so this is the unreadable format, but string data you can read it. Okay, so this is the things you understood, how to write the data in the encrypted format, how to write an object into the files. Those we understood, right? For example, you want to read those data, so what we have to do for it? So while reading a data, we have to take the help of the files. So we can discuss it, like how we can do it basically. So for example, if you want to read the data from the files, like same classes, so from the same classes, so definitely those class will be required. So first let me remove everything and create one more class here only, and I will give the class name called student. So student object we need, and object I have created output. So now I have to read the data. So input stream paste, I will give the name, and inside this I will give the name called main. Okay, and inside the mains, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one file input stream file. So file input stream fis equal to new file input stream, and here directly I can give the file name also. So what is the file name? Data dot dat extension we can give. Okay, and then after it will throw one exception, so I will throw it. Okay, so I will throw it, and then after we have to create the object for reading the data. So we have to write a object what is the object input stream we have to take. So object input stream equal to new object input stream, and inside this we have to pass our fis. Okay, and also we have to throw the exception. So now we can throw the exception. So previously you can see file not found exception. Now we can throw the input exception so that it will handle it. Always we have to write a parents class. Okay, nothing else. Okay, and then after, if you want to read the data, so you can write here like ons dot read object. A read object method we have, and this method will return you the object class. So it will throw the class not found exceptions. Okay, and let me store this data. Okay, this is nothing but object, but if you want to convert this object into the student, so you can write typecasting here. So you can pass here student also, and those object you can represent as a student. Okay, s, and then after you can print it. So before going to print, you can close the connections, each and everything. So ons dot close, okay, and fis dot close, both are close stream, and then after you can simply print the student object. Okay, let me run this code so that you can understood. Okay, so if I run this code, you can see the output here. Okay, like it's reading the data called student sid 101 name, prince, and number. So it's read only one object as of now. Okay, if you want to read all those objects, you can read no issue, and if you want to read all those objects, you can read no issue in that. Okay, so basically what we have to do is, okay, you have to check until the null. Okay, so how we can check it? So you have to write one while loop, and in the while loop you have to write like that up to null. So s equal to ons dot read object, and if read object will store here and it will not give until null. Cast to the student. So otherwise you can take the object also. So if it is not nulls, you can print it. Okay, you go to the s out, and here you can write s dot string. We have already written, so no need to write. And here you can give something called slash and null. Okay, so as of now we have a null, and if you call this s equal to string dot null, so this will call it and this will store the data inside this, and then it will assign. Then after it will do the comparison. If it is not null, it will go and print it. Okay, so this is the things you have to follow to retrieve all those data. So if you run once, you can see like all those data it will print it. Okay, whatever the Prince, Ajit and Deepak we have given, it's printed. We can talk about later what are the exceptions given, but I don't want to worry about the exceptions. Okay, so it's printed all those data. But right now if you go here in InputStream, if you do 3 or 4 times, so what will happen is, like in the same file, whatever the previous data we have, it's erasing and it's storing the some other data. But I don't want to remove every time previous data. So what we can do for that? So for that I want to append all those data. So for that we can pass here into the file output stream, we can pass here one true. True means it will show you, okay, we have to append it. So again, if you run this method, if you run 3 times, 4 times, or maybe the 6 times if you run, okay, all data will be appended inside this. It will not remove the previous data every time it's appending. If you go inside this and if you run this program, you can see the output. So it's only 3 output it's printing, but it's appending all those. Okay, it's appending all those. Okay, we can talk about later, like what is the invalid type of AC, end of the file we are getting some exception, we can talk it. But as of now that is fine, it's working, and we have understand how we are writing a data into the files and how we are reading the data from the files. Okay, thank you so much.